All right, welcome back. This is M-Dog, and this is our Fishing Planet video. We get at least one of these in every, I'd say, about 6 months, right? New map comes out. I come over and check it out just long enough to feel like, you know what? Let's put a video up. So that's what this is. We're here at the Marron River in Bolivia, which is the new map for Fishing Planet. I'm only level 46, so you'll see I can only play this. I can only play this map for as long as we have the 7-day pond pass. I probably won't do anything past that with it. Although it does seem like, at least right now, it's a pretty nice map in terms of if you are wanting to, like what I need to do, try to get some of those last levels you need to get up to some of the later maps. For me, that would be the UK map. When that map first came out and we did all the carp fishing in Fishing Planet, that was some of the most fun I've had in Fishing Planet. So, well, there's lots of spots here where you can start fishing, and ultimately, what I have settled into after trying a couple different things is primarily being into catfishing. And with the DLC came one really nice bottom reel and rod that does allow me to fairly aggressively go for catfish on this map, even though they do get very big. So let's go to this spot here. First thing in the morning, we'll just go fish. Actually, I probably ought to create a private room just so that it's a little less chaotic for people that aren't as familiar with Fishing Planet. It can be sort of distracting and confusing when you see lots of other people running around and then all of the spots up on the map when you do look at the map. So maybe I will do that really fast. That's funny, I even have my carp stuff out. All right, we got those livers. All right, so let's do a friends only room. And so I'll show you the spot where we're gonna start out at. If you go to a public room, you'll see that people are congregating in 2 or 3 spots. So, I mean, the map's only been out for about 1 day. Now, a lot of people did testing on it before the map came out. We're sort of dependent on, when it first comes out, we're sort of dependent on people who have done testing. I should have a marker out. Here it is. So this is kind of the spot where I end up spending most of my time. Sometimes I bounce around a little bit, but let's take a look. There, you see the marker out there. Let's take a look at it on the map. And I kind of show you what we're going for here. I mean, there's actually several different types of catfish, but I've caught some uniques in this spot. So we know they're out there. You see this one was caught on large cut bait. I've caught other ones on other baits. There are actually lots of good baits at this point for catfishing. I mean, we have come out with so many baits now. We're using the large liver. By the way, this is the rod and reel, right, that came with the DLC. Very strong. I don't have anything close to as strong as that. My second strongest setup, it's a stretch for this spot. Like, I'm kind of hoping that I hit the smaller species of cats. I think while we're making this video, and at least until I run into trouble, I'm going to put the 7.0s back on. I had even gone down to 4.0s, just again trying to avoid the big cat. So we're just going to have 3 rods out for now. But on this first rod, we do have a 9.0 hook. What I've seen, and we can keep that on there. I think I'd rather just give you higher bite rate instead of waiting for a long time for a fish. I think if you had 3 of these setups, then yeah, you would probably go 9.0 or 10.0 hooks to get the biggest fish possible, and then you just have different, the different catfish baits on there. But just to show you real quick, we've got, obviously dead fish. We've got different types of crab now, prawns, frog. We now have huge cut bait with the large cut bait, large liver. Still have large minnows, meat chunks. I mean, all of these baits I've tested in this spot, and they all seem to work pretty good. One thing I was going to do, actually, and I should have done this before starting to record the video, but I haven't tested. I don't know, that hook might be a little big. What do y'all think? Let's go with like a, I've even got the 10-0 hooks. I forgot I've got those. Let's go with like a 1-0 hook and these. So there are piranha here. Oh, I didn't mean to put it on that. I didn't mean to put it on that rod and reel. That's funny. Oh, we could try 10-0. I actually haven't used 10-0s yet. But let's go back to 7-0 and let's go back to large liver. And again, we'll kind of rotate through there. And let's go ahead and get this in the water so we can hopefully show you a catfish or two here. But one thing I've been thinking about, kind of wanting to try, is to see if there are any piranhas here in the same spot. That's what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get that out. All right, 7-0, do we want to go with large minnows? Yeah, I think that's fine. And again, we'll try to rotate baits a little bit according to how long we record for here. As long as we're catching catfish here and there, I'm kind of okay with that. Okay, guys, I'm like, I'm not putting the right baits on the right rod and reel. I need to see if this is number 2 or number 3. I really like to keep it straight, kind of where they are, but we don't want to catch, yeah, so this is number 3. All right, we do not want to catch something that big on this rod and reel. We'll never get it in. It'll be a forever fight. So let's just do, let's try meat chunk. Let's try meat chunk actually, because that supposedly can go for both the catfish and the piranha. So let's just see. I suspect that this isn't the best piranha spot. We'll see, but I suspect it's not, because I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I've fished in this spot a lot, and I have caught so many different types of catfish, and then there's been a couple other types of fish, like small guys, but I just don't ever remember seeing like piranhas coming in. All right, so what do we have on our 4th rod? Does that start the carp stuff? Yeah. And then we do have spinning. You can do spin fishing from here. Even with this like swim bait thing, you'll pretty frequently catch stuff. So if you're going through a slow moment, a lot of you may have the 4-rod holders. So of course you're going to get 4 bottom feeders. And I could put together a 4th bottom feeder and just hold it, but I don't really like holding bottom feeders while I'm fishing, to be honest with you. So you can kind of see some different fish here. And actually this apapa is what you catch a lot of, at least with this lure. You know, you could check some different lures and probably catch some different fish here, but with this lure, I just tend to get a lot of apapas. And we are early in the morning, but it seems like catfish, when I've done this before, have gotten pretty active pretty quickly. It's a sunny day. I think we're going to be good here. All right, let's see what we've got here. Is this one of those croakers or whatever? There are some small fish that will occasionally take the catfish baits. Yep, that's what it is. Silver croaker. Not bad money though, to be honest. They add up. All right, so we've got now, this is on the meat chunks. I'm really curious about the meat chunks. I don't think I had tested these yet. Yeah, there's one of the smaller catfish species, so a ripsaw catfish. course, you don't get that much XP for the small guys. I guess, you know, it's possible you could sort of target those and set up gear that was more appropriate in size for those. But I think I would be a little worried about that, because I've noticed that sometimes you'll catch the really large catfish even when you've got a smaller hook on there, or even when you've got a bait that you think might get a smaller catfish. So I think you pretty much probably are best just to go for the big catfish, use the biggest gear you have, and then, you know, you'll just be earning money off the small stuff. Which I'm not sure once people are getting to, you know, a little higher level, I'm not sure that money is really ever a concern anymore. It's just the XP to get to different places. But so I'm as good as the XP has been when I've caught those like uniques and some of those really large catfish. Because I only have one rod that I can really aggressively go after them with, I'm not sure that what I'm doing is the most efficient. Like, for example, unfortunately, sturgeon fishing in California still might be more efficient given my gear status right now. It would be nice to bring some different lures out here. I just always forget that I'm potentially going to be throwing some lures around. Or just to bring another bottom set, or a float set even. I think some people are having some success float fishing out here. At least we're getting some bites on the smaller stuff while we're waiting on the big guy to go off. Let's see what this is. It looks a little bit bigger. Seems like Meat Chunk is getting some nice activity. Yeah, it's another one of those rip saws. It's a trophy. No, sorry. A trophy flat-whiskered catfish. Yeah, there are multiple types of catfish, so that's kind of good to know. Again, Meat Chunk seems to be doing pretty well with the smaller catfish at least, and maybe this is a way that you can target some of the smaller species. I don't know. I'm surprised we haven't seen a big boy yet. Yeah, so we've got a papas we've been catching. We see flat whiskered here, gilded. This gets into some of the larger ones that are so nice. The red tail catfish, we've seen uniques of that. Ripsaw catfish, the silver croakers, I've seen trophies of those. I don't think I've seen sorubims. These may be in a different part of the map. Lakes and channels. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what you're likely to see in this spot. All right, here's another one off the large minnows. Maybe we should, oh, again, a little bit bigger. So far, we have avoided the monster cats on the second or third rod, which is nice. I either can't get them in or the fights last so long. But still nothing on our first line. Although we've had a lot of nibbles down there. We just haven't caught it. We're just dragging this guy in, aren't we? Alright, so here's the first one of the little bit larger species. It's not a trophy or anything, so we were able to bring it in on this line. But as you can see, the money starts to get a lot more significant. The XP also gets really good, especially on the trophy size. It's like we have passed. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. This is one of the areas in which I do prefer um, the other fishing game that I play, quite frankly, a lot more of than I play a Fishing Planet, which is Russian Fishing 4. The mechanics of these big fights on Fishing Planet feels um, what's the word? A little stale. I feel like it's a little more dynamic in RF4, but I have also gotten into situations where, you know, the fish wasn't strong enough to like spool me or break my stuff, but my gear wasn't strong enough to pull them in. So it's almost like a stalemate. And to me, I'm like, there's just got to be a better way to handle a situation like that. All right, so we're definitely going to get this fish. Yeah, this is going to be a nice one. Or a decent one. We'll try to pull it straight in so that we can get control of those bells. I should have turned the volume, in-game volume, way down before starting this. My apologies. And in some ways, we'd be okay if that fish came off the first line just because of how long it's going to take to get it in. Yeah, but here we go. This is what we're going for in terms of the type of catfish. These tend to be so good on XP and money, these red tails. So we're definitely wanting to catch those whenever we can. I don't know. I'm tempted just to reset here. Let's see if we start making any progress at all. We could just cut the leader too, but lose a hook. So the meat chunks did end up attracting bigger catfish. And so this kind of situation is why I ended up going to 4.0 hooks on my smaller feeder setups. You know, these are decent catfish setups for some places, but not here at the new river. This doesn't quite get it done here. Some of it is the line, you know, line and leader. We could have 100% line and leader, and that might help a little bit, but we're just underpowered. We're about 10 kilos underpowered on this rig versus the first rig we're using. So decision has to be made here. But the one issue is for Fishing Planet is that unless they've changed it or unless it's different now, you can't ever completely tire out the fish. They're on a never-ending cycle, is my understanding, of getting tired for a few moments and then regaining their strength. And so even if you like have the skills to survive for a long time, your gear may just not be strong enough to ever get it in. Which I don't think that's the case here. I think we could eventually get this in. It's just taking a long time. But many of you know way more about Fishing Planet than I do. So if you have heard differently, or if you know that that's not the case, please let me know. Because again, things could have changed. I could have been misinformed back in the day, but that was my understanding of how the fish were programmed. Where in some fishing games, like Russian Fishing 4, now, you know, the trade-off is in Russian Fishing 4, if you have too small a gear against too big a fish, you're probably not going to survive the fight. They probably are going to spool you or break your stuff off unless you've, you know, got them trapped in a pond or a channel or something where they can't get away. Oh, he's pulling back out. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you feel like there's this never-ending cycle of we made all that progress, and now he pulled it out just as strong as he did in the beginning. So we've gotten down to what, 60 something? So let's see how far we can get it to now before it pulls back out again. I'd love to get this fish in for you because it will be a decent catfish. But as you can see, this is nowhere near efficient. And so I think if you have, like I do, you know, sub level 50 gear, so like I'm level what, 46? My equipment is just not quite there for this place, except for the one Catfish rod and reel that came with the DLC. So I still think it's worth fishing here. It's certainly fun, but I would go with a little smaller hooks, play it a little safer on baits, and then just really target the big fish on your main line. Because the XP is so much on those big unique catfish that even if you just catch one, you know, every little while, one or two per net, then you're still going to be leveling so fast if you're lower level like I am. If you're less than 50, I guess. It's a pretty decent XP per hour, it seems like. Although it is dependent on at least getting a couple trophies or a unique to really bounce up your XP. So it seems like, you know, this fish has kind of proven me wrong. It seems like he did get to a certain level of tired, and then he just started coming in. So that actually is a unique red tail on my lower stuff. And do you see how much XP we got there? That is crazy. And so that's on the meat chunk. So yet another bait that seems to be working pretty well. With that, I can't believe we were patient enough to. So I guess what I'm theorizing is that I might want to go 4-0s on this. And let's try another bait. Let's try frogs for a little bit. We'll just kind of rotate around to baits. We'll record a little bit longer here. And let's put those meat chunks on our main line for a minute. See if we catch something nice on these. And we'll pull these large minnows in. We'll put the 4-0 hooks on this one as well. And we'll also cast this one to a little different spot. You don't have to be beholden to that one spot, which, by the way, let me show you where that spot is. Let's try, we can even go with like, shiners. I mean, honestly, it seems like you can cast just about anything out here of the, like, you know, meaty, fishy stuff, and you're going to catch some fish. So let's see what we can get on this one. But yeah, if I look at this mark, I don't know if I actually showed this very effectively last time, but this mark is around 32,153. I'm not at all saying that's the only spot where the uniques will come out at. I mean, I think there's probably lots of spots around here, but that's where I've caught several uniques now. So it seems like it's worth doing. If you want to kind of see how the fishnet's doing so far, 22,000. Money comes really fast. I think the more interesting thing is the XP. You know, 15,000 XP pretty much on this red tail. You know, again, if you can get a couple of those going, it definitely feels like a pretty nice XP grind, especially if you had a couple of setups that were strong enough to really go after them. I think if I had multiple, like, I would probably have 7-0 hooks on one to try to have, you know, a fairly consistent amount of fish coming in, but then I'd probably have 9-0, 10-0 on the other two to really just try to hit the big ones, because the big ones is just exponentially more on XP and money, but mostly XP is what we're worried about. And this is, I mean, you know, it's only $639, 39 XP, but it's kind of like that's the safe way to go, catching fish like that. All right, this is interesting. Let's see if we got another nice one here. This is going to be something small. I need to be careful with how high my drag is, just in case we get a really large one. We don't want to snap it before I realize what's going on. But we did get a pretty quick bite rate on this, so let's go ahead and throw this right back in with meat chunks. It's another flat-whiskered catfish. Throw that a little short. That looks good. So let's see, what else can we try besides frogs? Huge cut bait I want to use on the main line. I actually haven't rotated that one, have we? Since, well, we did put meat chunks on there. So let's do medium cut bait on this one. Medium cut bait's been working really well out here also, as I'm down to like 6, so I need to purchase some more of that. I think I'm high enough level to purchase medium cut bait, but we'll find out. I don't like how quiet this second rod's been, though. We just have not gotten much going with this one. I'm going to cast it a little farther. We'll keep shiners on there a little bit longer, though. But I really look forward to getting, if I can stick with it. You know, I always say this, and then I kind of just don't stick with Fishing Planet that much. But I look forward to getting to the point where I can get the 4-rod holder and also get back to the UK to be able to fish for carp. All right, so we're going to change this bait, even though these meat chunks have been doing so well. I do want to try a couple other baits for you out here on our main line. As you just see, the catfish just keep coming in. Such a good, I mean, if you really enjoy going for catfish, this is just, I think you're going to love this new map. All right, this is huge cut bait. Huge cut bait is what we're using right now. And by the way, one thing that is nice, and I'll go ahead and do this back over here. One thing that is nice about where we are, and I will open up the map to show you this in just a second. So here's medium cut bait. I guess we can try something else now that we've shown medium cut bait a few times here. We're over halfway through filling up our net now. Oh yeah, trophy silver croaker. And the trophy size, if you do catch the trophy size, the money and the XP actually are better than some of the small catfish. So that's not necessarily bad news. I haven't tried shrimp here. I guess we could. Do we think we'll catch anything on the piranha, the palm fruit? I also just don't know, like, hook size wise. 7.0 might be a little big for... Yeah, let's look at this. Let's go with, like... Oh, I think I was using 4.0 before. Anyway, let's go with 3.0. Let's just see if anything happens with these. Huh. Alright, shiners. It seems like it's gotten a pretty nice fish here. It's just slowly pulling my line out, but okay, we can go at one more. Hopefully this won't turn into too long of a fight. But if it's another really nice catfish, I guess I'm okay with it. This one doesn't seem as bad though. Maybe. So we're down to, you know, we kind of have, I don't know what, like around 20 kilos is our strength on our second and third feeder rod we're using here, which I have a fourth. I just didn't bring it with me, but and our strongest, our number one rod that came with the DLC, I think it's more like closer to 30 kilos of strength. I do think if you could get sort of in the middle of those, you probably would be able to be fairly efficient. Not quite as efficient, of course, as having all of the big ones, but yeah, this is turning into another really long, annoying fight. Which is okay, because that means it's a really nice fish, but... And this is with 4.0 hooks and shiners, so again, I just don't know that you can completely avoid the big boys out here. Which is good to know that coming in. I'll try to remember to show you this on the map, but what I was going to say about the map, the nice thing about where we are, is that if you want to bring a boat over to be able to quickly reset your rods, we're just to the left of the boat dock. You can spawn directly here, but you also could get in your boat and come right, just drive right over here very quickly. And once again, we may eventually get this guy in, but I didn't even think about it, but I think that last fish we just caught was on the piranha bait, wasn't it? So we need to look in our fish net and see what we caught on that. Was that a catfish? I think it was a catfish, wasn't it? Oh, I'd love to get this fish in and then have one on our big line too. Looks like we will get this fish in, which is nice. We'll see if it's as nice as the last one. Overall, I felt like this one was a little bit quicker, a little easier to get in. He's so close to coming out. Let's see what it is, though. I think it's going to be another nice one, though. Look at that. It's a trophy instead of unique, but look at this XP. Again, if you're sub 50, you do not have to catch many of these to just bounce up in level. All right, yeah, it was on the Gerari palm fruit was the last fish we caught. So that means it was catfish. It was a catfish, interestingly enough. And it may just be that there are so many catfish here that catfish will eat just about anything, and so it's like whatever we throw in there, we're kind of getting the catfish, it seems like. Except for occasional silver croakers. All right, so this is on huge cut bait. This will be a nice mid-sized cat, it looks like. Yeah, it's a trophy ripsaw. So again, we're getting up there in money on these. Our gear is just too strong to get much XP on that. But all right, so that's huge cut bait. What have we not shown that would be worth looking at? Oh, all the crab stuff's working pretty good here. But let's show one of these Lambari fish. These are catching some pretty nice cats as well. But yeah, crabs work out here. The only thing about crabs I've noticed is the nibbling that happens with crabs can be really long, but you do catch some nice fish on there. So oh yeah, here's the map. So we're right up here. This is the spawn point. We're right down here on this island, here in the middle, but the boat dock is just right next to us. So you can literally just take a left from the boat dock and you're right here. So if you want to have the boat It's right down there. There's the boat dock. You can see my boat right there. If you want to have the boat to quickly reset your rods and such like that, it's really easy to get the boat here. Or you can just spawn directly into this island. Weather-wise, and you know, it seems like sunny days is mostly what I've gotten lately. And I've primarily just been fishing first thing in the morning, and it's been working great. There might be some trends on weather that, you know, we'll end up getting dialed in on, but so far it just feels like things are working. That was quick on those fish. So there's one of the sorabims. Apparently I am catching these here because that wasn't even a personal record. I had forgotten about them. Looks like if you got, you know, that's pretty good silver considering that wasn't a trophy or anything. All right, I think this is a good point to wrap this video up. I think you get the idea. And remember, there are plenty of other spots that are also really good. I really just noticed that when I would load into public maps, people were kind of congregating on this island. And it seemed like it was going to be a good early spot to test. Look, it's another one, surabim. Oh, how perfect is this? We're getting fish on every line right as we're stopping here. And this is it's going to be another palm fruit fish. So let's see if this one's like a croaker or if we did sneak in a piranha or something. Or if it's just another cat. So many cats, and we're getting close to leveling again, which is amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at how we did here. With premium, we got 24,000 XP and 36,000 money, and obviously that was just one day of fishing. Didn't even fully fill the net. And with really only one line that's efficiently set up, the other two are okay. And I think if, you know, next time I go here, I probably will take another of my feeder rods out there so I can hold one. Because if we're just kind of embracing the smaller catfish on the other lines to just slowly get XP and money, then there wouldn't be any, you know, it'd be fine to have a fourth one out there, I think. Repair everything. So we're at 46, getting close to 47. And again, what I would like to do is to be able to get to 50. So let's see. We'll see how much I end up playing this week on the pond pass to Marron. Because if I get to 50, I can really focus on carp, and I will enjoy that. And then I know that Blue Crab Island ends up being a pretty good spot once you hit 54. So, okay, Fishing Planet, South America, Map 2. Marron River in Bolivia. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, this is early. I mean, it has just come out. So if it's been out a while, you may find a lot more information about additional spots. But even for a lower level player who gets the pond pass, has that one really nice catfish setup, it can be a lot of fun. It really can. I enjoy going for catfish in Fishing Planet. So in that sense, it can be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.